A very good evening to you. It is a beautiful Wednesday evening here in Queen City, Nevis. It is the 12th day of November in the year 2025, and it's the On The Mark program on your radio once again. Of course, the regular host, the Honorable Mark Brantley, is not in this evening. He's overseas on government duty, and of course he's overseas on official duty. And of course I'm your host, the Honorable Evelyn. I'll be sitting in for the Honorable Mark Brantley tonight, the regular host. And of course we are here on a Wednesday evening, every Wednesday from 8 until 10 for the very popular On The Mark program. Of course, I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you who are joining us at this point in time. And so we say good evening to all the folks in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, as those in the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, those in the diaspora. We are so happy to have you with us this evening, and we know that you're going to be with us until the end at 10 o'clock. And of course tomorrow you'll be back with us again when we have the rebroadcast from 1 until 3. And so I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the On The Mark program again for this evening, and we are delighted to have you with us. Of course, at the top of the show we normally do a little bit of housekeeping matters, and so at the top of the show I want to greet all those who might be celebrating today. If you're celebrating today, if you're celebrating this week, if you've celebrated already for the week, if you're celebrating tomorrow or the rest of the week, I want to say happy birthday, anniversary, whatever the occasion is. We greet you from On The Mark and from the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse. We have some special birthday greetings extended to Yvonne Hendrickson over there in Hickmans. Yvonne, you are celebrating your birthday today, and you have lots of love coming your way from Magnolia and the rest of the family. All of your friends and all of your relatives come together to wish you a wonderful, wonderful birthday. I know that most likely you've had a great day so far, so do enjoy what's left of your special day. That's Yvonne Hendrickson here in Hickmans. I want to go up to Florida and say a special good evening to my very dear friend Diana Jeffers. Diana celebrated her 70th birthday yesterday, and of course we know Diana doesn't look anything close to 70. But Diana, happy belated birthday. You should be celebrating for the rest of the month and for the rest of the year. And I believe because you're celebrating your 70th, you have a milestone this year. That is why it seems as though you had 3 birthdays this year. You had a birthday on Saturday, the 8th. You had a birthday on Monday, the 10th. And you had the real thing yesterday. So you broke the record, Diana, this year. So I'm happy for you. You broke the record, having 3 birthdays for 2025. But nonetheless, we hope you had a wonderful day. Well, I spoke to you and I know you had a great day yesterday. So enjoy what's left of the week, the rest of the month, the rest of the year. Continue to celebrate in style. That's my good friend Diana Jeffers there. Of course, I know, of course, we are sending greetings from all of us here at Von Radio, all of us here from On The Mark. Continue to have a wonderful evening, Diana. And anyone else who might be celebrating, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, whatever it is, we greet you. Trust that you're having a wonderful time. As I always say when I'm here on The Mark, celebrate in style. For those who are a little bit under the weather, not feeling so well, we greet you as well. Those in the hospital, those in the homes, in the Flamboyant home, those in the St. George and St. John Senior Citizens Home, and of course those who are taking such wonderful care of you, we greet you as well. And of course anyone who might be in the bereaved column, we say good evening to you and condolences. We know it's never easy when you have to lose a loved one, and so those of you who might be grieving the loss of a loved one, we greet you and trust that God will continue to hold you in his embrace, and he will continue to strengthen as you go through this difficult time. Well, this evening we have a bit of a different program this evening. We have something special for you, all of you who are in tuned. Of course, we know that the Concerned Citizens Movement, the Big Blue Machine, we hosted our convention, our party convention, on Sunday, the 26th of October, 2025 at NEPAC, and what a convention it was. Those of you who didn't attend, you missed something. We've had some excellent feedback from our convention. It was well attended, it was well organized and well executed. The vibe was good, the company was good, the camaraderie there at the convention was exceptional, and as I said, we've had some excellent feedback. I know some of you were there, some who were not there would have listened online, but for those of you who didn't listen online, And for those of you who listened and who were there, I'm sure you wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more of what was on show and on display at our party convention held on the 26th of October 2025. And so this evening we have some excerpts from that convention, and we're going to be playing for you some of the remarks and speeches that were made at the convention. We'll be hearing from all of the candidates. We'll be hearing from our party leader. We'll be hearing from our featured speaker. And trust me, the speeches were all very electrifying. And so we asked you to give a listen. Those of you who were not there, give a listen. Those of you who were there, those who watched online, I'm sure you don't mind hearing them again, because the convention was that good, one of our best we've had. And we want to thank all those of you who came out in your numbers to support our party convention for 2025. And so we're going to kick things off. We have a lot of grounds to cover this evening, and so we're going to kick things off with the remarks that were made by the Honorable Spencer Brand, the representative for Charlestown Nevis 1.
Friends, we have much to be thankful for. The theme for this afternoon, and I want to make sure I get it right. The theme for this afternoon is proven leadership. I get into the secure part. But I want to talk about the proven leadership. Sometimes you who are in the public may not have the front row seat that I and other cabinet members have. We sit around a very nice mahogany table in cabinet, and we often look at the head of cabinet, who is our party leader, Anthony Graham Brantley, Dr. the Honorable Mark Anthony Graham Brantley. And oftentimes I wonder how he has been able to manage this group of individuals. And I think that it takes a special individual, a special character to achieve that. I am persuaded that he has been elevated to the leader of this country by divine intervention. And since his leadership, we have gone through some difficult and turbulent times. And I am here to say to you that I've had a front row seat of how distinguished gentleman was able to manage and navigate those difficult and turbulent times. I will highlight one of those difficult and turbulent times, the COVID pandemic. And I am here to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that I am convinced that if it was not for the leadership of Dr. Brantley, the island of Nevis would have been in a much worse off place. I have seen countries that were much larger than us, much greater resources than us, had all the technology and all the creativity to survive during those difficult periods. But what they did not have was the leader, Mark Brantley. I want to say to Dr. Brantley tonight that as one who have sit around the table with you, that I've learned quite a lot. I've sit around the table with the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. I've sit around the table with the Honorable Evelyn. I've sit around the table with other people whose name I will not call on this podium, because they have jumped ship. They have jumped ship. I've sit around the table with two young individuals. Troy, let me use the Christian name. Don't use the Christian name. I've sat around the table with Youth and Janelle. Two young individual, and we have gone through some challenging times. And I would say this, that our leader have been able to guide the process. He have listened, he have given his input, and he have said to us, what is your opinion? And that, my friend, in my mind, is proven leadership. Now, I want to talk about the secure future path, because I believe that all of us would recognize that the island of Nevis is now at a crossroad. I believe that we must recognize that Nevis is at the tipping point of its history. And I know we had a previous session where other things were said, but I am here to say to you tonight, if we were to even get a little whisper of change in course, I believe that the island of Nevis would be in serious trouble. I want to say to all of us this evening, now is not the time to change course. Now is not the time to gamble with your future. Now is not the time, ladies and gentlemen, to try something different. When you have men and women who are committed to the task of developing the island of Nevis. I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that each and every one of you have a responsibility. The Premier can't do it alone. The Deputy Premier can't do it alone. Say a very big thank you to the constituency of St. Paul's. You see, I came to the people of St. Paul's in 2013. We were not successful, but I remember right in the heart of Government Road, at that victory rally, when I said to the people of St. Paul's that I will be back, I said to them that if you were to give me a chance, I will earn the next. But ladies and gentlemen, St. Paul's, you have been so precious to me. There is a lot of noise on the other side. But the time will come when I will deal with that noise. But I just want to say to the people of St. Paul's, you have my heart, and I want to thank you. I want to thank the person who would have nominated me and the person who would have seconded that nomination for me to be the deputy leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party. I want to thank all of the persons who would have voted for me and to give me this distinguished honor. I will say to you tonight that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party has one leader, and that is the Honorable Mark Brantley. I am here to say to you tonight that the Premier of Nevis and the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party has my full support. And ladies, yes, and ladies and gentlemen, together, working together, facing challenges together, overcoming them together, under our leader, we can secure our future. In closing, I want to say to this CCM family. I know that we have persons who are listening and viewing online. But I want to say to those that can cuss till the cow come home, I want to say to this CCM family that we are stronger together. I want to say to all of us that in the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, you have proven leadership. And in the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, ladies and gentlemen, you can rest assured that your future is secure. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Good night. And may God continue to bless this remarkable CCM Convention 2025.
Well, I told you that the speeches were electrifying, and that's just the start. That was the opening batsman, the Honorable Spencer Brand, and now we will go to the second remarks that were made, and those were made by myself, the Honorable Eric Evelyn. So let's give a listen.
Good evening, CCM family! All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's such a pleasure to be here. I feel good. The energy inside NEPAC this evening is making me excited. Definitely we are here as one big happy CCM family. The big blue machine is out. The big blue machine is here, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I'm delighted to be a part of this CCM family. And I am also delighted that I am a part of the Nevis Island administration. Ladies and gentlemen, our theme says proven leadership. And you know why we are sitting in government? Because the leadership is proven. In the closed session, the Premier gave some statistics that are worth me mentioning again. In the last 17 elections, let me say it slowly. In the last 17 elections on Nevis, the Concerned Citizens Movement has won 16. In the last 33 years, the CCM has lost only one election. If that isn't proven leadership, then what is proven leadership? Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the energy we are feeling in NEPAC tonight is telling me, and it's telling the CCM team, that we have another 33 and more years in government on the island of Nevis. I just want to endorse all of what my colleague and brother, Minister Brand, said about the proven leadership of our leader, the Honorable Mark Brantley. And of course, all of us should agree that the leadership of Minister Brantley, Premier Brantley, has been stellar, it has been exemplary, it has been committed leadership, and it is indeed proven leadership. And that is why we as a CCM team will always rally around our leader, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. I am proud of him, you know, because he grew up a stone throw away from me in Hanley's Road, down in Scarborough. He always say he from Brownhill, but I tell him Brownhill people, he from Hanley's Road. He's from Gingerland. And so I am happy to say that the Premier of Nevis was born in my village of Hanley's Road, my hometown of St. George's, Gingerland. And so, as I endorse all of what Minister Brand said about the Premier and his leadership style, I also want to say that all of us in our right, in our ministries, are doing exemplary leadership as well. And I just want briefly to just mention a few things about what has been happening in my ministry as the leader of my ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, in the field of agriculture, we have seen improvement in practically every aspect of agriculture, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen increases in production in open field as well as shade house technology. I want to state boldly that our shade house technology, the greenhouse production that we have on the island of Nevis, is leading in the entire sub-region in the Leeward and the Windward Islands under my watch as the minister. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen even the livestock production increase. We have seen self-sufficiency in egg production for 11 months of the year. We have seen our value-added products continue to improve and increase at the abattoir and agro-processing. We have seen exemplary leadership at the marketing division in every aspect of agriculture. Our agri-export that has grown exponentially in the past 29 years is the best by far in the sub-region. And I want to just indicate here that next year we are celebrating our 30th anniversary. 30 years. And next year promises to be a grand and unforgettable occasion. No, we ain't going to spend half the money, but we're going to have a grand occasion. We in agriculture, we know how to budget. We know how to budget. And ladies and gentlemen, in marine resources as well, we are always assisting our fishermen. We know the treacherous waters they have to go through to feed their families. Numerous training experiences for our fishermen. And what we are doing in the field of agriculture, ladies and gentlemen, we are attracting the attention of our neighbors. And so we are getting contingents from Anguilla, from Antigua, from St. Martin, from St. Eustatius, and lately from St. Bart's, and they are coming here because they love what we are doing. We are leading in agriculture in the sub-region, and that will continue. In the area of culture, ladies and gentlemen, last year was our 50th anniversary of Culturama. We continue to promote our culture. And of course, last year, we did some excellent improvements at our village and our cultural complex, now state-of-the-art. Under my leadership as well, we also have a state-of-the-art facility, the David Freeman Center of Excellence in Gingerland. We're not resting on our laurels. We are working for the people in promoting our culture. I'm sure all of you would have seen what our cultural group did in Barbados for Carifesta, sponsored by the Nevis Island Administration, the Honeybee String Band. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of housing and lands, we continue to provide affordable lands for our people. You saw on the video the quality of the homes that the NHLDC provides for the people of Nevis at concessionary rates. Ladies and gentlemen, the persons who own these homes and the persons who visit these sites, whether it be at Madden's, at Hamilton, at Craddock Road, at Cherry Garden, at Rice's, wherever you go, people marvel at the quality of affordable homes that we have on the island of Nevis. And it will only get better. Ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on and on. But I just want to say that the proven leadership that you have in the Concerned Citizens Movement is ensuring that Nevis is top of the line in the entire Eastern Caribbean. Make no doubt about that. We are on top in the Eastern Caribbean. And it is because of the proven leadership of the Concerned Citizens Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, we, you, all of us, have a secure future with your CCM party. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of Nevis is secure once you stick with the CCM. I am confident that you will stick with us. When you stick with us, we stick with you. Together, we can continue to make this beautiful island of Nevis the greatest island in the Eastern Caribbean. And so, I'm encouraging you to stick with us. I want at this point to say a special thank you to the good people of St. George Gingerland. The good people of my constituents of the George Gingerland. And I want to make it absolutely clear here at this convention at NEPAC that St. George Gingerland will always be in the winning column. I'm going to say it again. St. George's Gingerland will always be in the winning column for CCM. Make no doubt about that. And so, I'm asking the rest constituencies, Gingerland is always safe. You're not going to worry about Gingerland. I'm asking the rest constituencies of St. Thomas's, St. Paul's, St. John's, St. James's, join us in St. George Gingerland and make your future continue to be secure in the hands of the concerned citizens movement. And so once again, I want to thank my good people of St. George Gingerland. Shark, it's good to have you home. Let me welcome all who came in from overseas for our convention. It's good to have you here. Let us continue to rally with the CCM party. Let us continue to rally with the proven leadership. And let us continue to make the future of this beautiful island of Nevis secure with the concerned citizens movement. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that was yours truly. And of course, as I said, we have a lot of grounds to cover. So we're going to move straight along and we're going to hear from the Honorable Alexis Jeffers.
Well, good afternoon to everyone. And welcome to CCM Convention 2025. And you know, you have some trinkets in your hands and some items you're making noise with. Someone said to me that CCM people still like to make noise, you know. Do we? Yes. So the whole world is listening and viewing. So the whole world want to hear what is happening here at NEPAC. They want to feel the impact of it. So St. James people. Oh my goodness. St. James people are here in large numbers. Well, let's do a roll call. St. James is here. St. Thomas Parish, are you here? What happened to St. Thomas's? Make some noise, man. St. George's. Continuing with the roll call, St. Paul's. And of course, St. John's. St. James was the loudest. And that's how we are. We are happy at a jovial set of people over there in St. James. So once again, I must say good afternoon to you, and it is indeed my pleasure being here to speak to you this afternoon. And of course, as I begin this afternoon, I want to say to the people of St. James and to the CCM family, yes, we would have faltered in the last election. But would that happen again? Absolutely not, and I love to hear that. You know, I'm reminded of a phrase that sometimes persons will give up something good in search or looking for something better, only to find worse. And that really sums up what is going on over there in the constituency of St. James. We had something good that was given up for something that supposedly should have been better, but we end up with worse. And that is why we have heard earlier that persons are complaining, persons are saying, all sorts of things that St. James is no longer being looked after. Well, let me say to the people of St. James, you see me? I'm standing before you, still full of vim, vigor, and vitality. And what that means is that I'm still ready to represent the people of St. James. The Honorable Spencer Brand he said before that he would have to fill some big shoes. But we're going to make sure create even larger shoes as we go along. Because there's still work to be done in the vineyard. Plenty of work is still there to be done. As a matter of fact, when I look at the constituency of St. James, I was saying in the past, and I still can say so, that we have done so much in St. James that we possibly can think about seceding from Nevis, you know. Yeah, and I'm dead serious. It won't happen because there's nothing in the Constitution to allow us to do so, but that's just a joke. But let's look at things seriously. You hear me say we had good things, some were looking for better and end up with worse. Well, let's look at the good things. The Holy Water Taxi Facility, one of the best facilities in the Federation. As a matter of fact, to date, over 1.3 million passengers have passed through that facility. We got some leaks concerning that, but of course COVID came in 2020. We couldn't get the facility completed at that point in time. We were in a position where we had to decide to look after the lives and livelihood of the people of Nevis. So those monies were repurposed for other things. But we were able to complete that facility. Look at it now. You can go to St. Kitts at 6 in the morning and come back at 12 in the night. So we have done something to ensure that there's a connection between the island of Nevis and St. Kitts so that our people can move. Uber is on water now. Uber service, you pick up the phone and call one of the operators and say, I want to go to St. Kitts. Any hour of the day, up until midnight, I suppose. But you move on, you look at the Island Main Road running past that same Holy Water Taxi Facility going up to Newcastle. Charles Road, the Newcastle Police Station. Every time I listen to the person who is currently the representative, she said that they, what did she say? I can't remember. Something about the fire what? What did you say? Anyway, all I'm going to say, for someone to be so obsessed with the police station that every time she opens her mouth, police station this and police station that, I've said to her, Lord of mercy, go in the station one day. Ask the police to put you inside the cell for about a couple hours, and then you'll get a feel as to what jail is like. I don't know if she run from jail somewhere and obsess about jail. But I'm saying to her, go in the station and ask them to put you in the cell for a couple hours. And then you'll see what jail feel like. And you'll see what those who may have gone to jail may have felt. Let's move on from there. Charles Road. Viogen Sporting Complex, and then you go up beyond that. Housing up at Garner's, where we would have put a program in place and a project in place, whereby we are saying to our young men and young women, instead of coming here and having challenges and difficulties in getting housing, where you have to pay your student loans, that's right. And then you get frustrated and leave Nevis, and we create that type of brain drain. We don't want that to happen. We said we'll put a housing development in place to capture those young men and young women who want to stay here, to help us to build the island of Nevis. And so we build that facility, those houses up there. And we must be commended, because you hear us talk about looking after our young people. On the other side, you hear them cussing and saying the most derogatory things about young people. Young people are the fulcrum of what we are trying to do here on the island of Nevis. Everything rotates around our young people, and that is why we look after them in such a fashion. Our young professionals as well. And so we move from there. Oh, before I move from there, let me talk about 36 acres of land just across the street from University Heights. You have to remind me, I'm no longer in government at this time, so I don't think about government. I think about the airport, and I'll get to that. But University Heights, just across there, 36 acres of lands. Listen, when a few years ago when I realized those lands could have been willed to a college in New York called Vassar College, an old college, the previous owner said, if my son predeceased me as the owner, then of course it goes to Vassar College. Just imagine 36 acres, prime land in Nevis going to a college in New York. Nevis people land. Yeah? So we said no. I went to the cabinet and I want to thank the premier and the team for working with me on that. So 36 acres of lands are now available for young men and young women here on the island of Nevis to build your home. Price would be reasonable, I would think, Premier. Should be. The bottom line though, that was thinking about our people, making sure we are securing a future for all people. And so when the time comes, I want us to go and apply and make sure that you are earning a piece of the rock. Moving on from there, going through camps. Even up in Fountain, we did the roads, concrete roads. In Brick Hill, roads. Up at Madden's, Cedar View, one of the best housing developments in the island of Nevis. First phase, second phase, third phase. As a matter of fact, I am now realizing that our taxi operators drive through Cedar View every time they're on those island tours, making sure they're showing our visitors what housing development is like in Nevis. Many persons come to Nevis and they marvel at what we have done in housing here on the island of Nevis. So, Madden's Cedar View, one of the best in Nevis. And maybe in the Federation too. Or the Caribbean. You see, I was trying to be as modest as possible. But you're right, in the Caribbean. Because I've seen houses elsewhere, no ceiling, just galvanized, put down on some rafters. We don't operate like that. And so, Butlers, that beautiful road project in Butlers. So, throughout the whole constituency of St. James, we have done some marvelous work. And as I said before, there's still work to be done. But we know on the other side there's no capabilities. So the people of St. James will have a choice to make at some point in the future. But until that time, we have work to do in that. I spoke about the airport, and they have been asking on the other side when project is going to start. Well, they don't need to ask, because they said to us on the platform during the last election, so long as Van Samry's name is on that airport, they would never touch it. They said it. And if that is the case, there's no need for them to even worry about Van Samry International Airport, because the Concerned Citizens Movement have made the decision that when persons decide to come to the island of Nevis, they must come directly to us. So we'll have flights from Miami all up and down the eastern seaboard. And you know what they did? When we thought about this project and was talking about it, they went up there to protest against it, The same individual who say, oh my goodness. I don't know how many of them were there, but all I know, no young persons were there. We're doing these things for young people. No young persons were there. So we are doing all that we are doing up there at the Van Samry International Airport, extending the runway, new lighting, new passenger terminal, new fire hall, new road. All of that is for the future and to secure that future for our young people. I am on my way out at some point. Not yet though. The Lord will decide that. But at least I know whatever we're doing today and tomorrow and moving into the future is to ensure that our young people's future is secured. Now we talk about the theme for this convention, proven leadership. I will say the Honorable Mark Brantley and I started this journey almost at the same time. I started January of 2006 and he came on board in July, thereabout, of 2006. So I had a few months ahead of him. I had a few months ahead of him, but over the years, this is how we've been. I can lap the finger like that. We've been tight as two brothers. And I've given him my support, he has given me his support. We have given each other support and we've reciprocated where we can. So I can speak proudly of his leadership. Some may have other things to say, but that's okay. That is the opinion. But I know that Mark Brantley has proven to the island of Nevis, to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, to the wider Caribbean community and even internationally, that he is the best leader at this time to chart the course for the island of Nevis. Remember, he was the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And we had significant accomplishment under his leadership. So a lot of people would try to dilute his leadership, but the record is there to show. The evidence is there to show. And certain things in life, no matter how you fight against it, no matter what you say to diminish it, you certainly can't, because the evidence speaks for itself. And so, proven leadership, I can also add leadership that you can trust. Secure the future. And then I can also say, don't gamble with your future. So in that particular theme, it certainly encompasses all of the themes that we have had in the past. We have had these. Keep the momentum. Don't gamble with your future. Proven leadership. And all that is certainly what CCM is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a proud CCM member. And I will continue to be a CCM member until I depart this life. As a matter of fact, I'm reminded of something that someone said to me and I adopted it. There are two things in life I'm not going to change. The religion that I am associated with, I'm an Anglican. Not changing that. And I say that proudly. And the political party that I support, I'm not changing that either. So, there are two things that I'm not going to change in my life, and those are the two things. Ladies and gentlemen, when we get behind the microphone, we can chat and talk long. But I will stay there for now.
All right, that was the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, and as we continue, we're going to now hear from the Honorable Latoya Jones.
CCM family? That's not loud enough. CCM family? LBJ is here. St. Thomas's is here. St. Thomas, can I hear you? St. James, can I hear you? St. John, can I hear you? St. Paul, can I hear you? St. George, can I hear you? CCM, we are a remarkable family, and I am proud to stand with our leader, Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley, and my colleagues from the different constituencies. Proven leadership, secure future. The members of Constituency 5 exemplify strong, dedicated leadership committed to serving the remarkable people of St. Thomas Parish and Nevis as a whole. We do not believe in standing still. We do not believe in waiting for things to happen. We remain steadfast in our mission to bring about positive, measurable change in our community. St. Thomas says, we have been getting things done. And I know they say St. Thomas is really for the other side. But CCM, we have made significant strides in St. Thomas's, and we must be proud. Keep telling them St. Thomas's is coming home to CCM. Reflecting on the progress we've made in St. Thomas Parish, like I said, I feel proud. This isn't theory, this is reality. Our concerted efforts ranging from donating essential supplies to our schools and providing much needed support to our small businesses, sponsoring students and various community initiatives, organizing cleanup drives, hosting tournaments and training sessions, celebrating our women and the achievements of youth while improving the lives of our seniors and family, underscores our deep commitment to enriching the community that we love. We don't just see constituents, we see neighbors, friends, and family. In St. Thomas's, I remember during the election cycle, I presented a plan because I know what the concerns of the people of St. Thomas's were. And I told myself I will do everything in my power to address them. And so I will continue to put pressure on my colleagues. And the leader of our great party can tell you that. But I want to thank him at this time for his commitment to ensuring that this great party will deliver for St. Thomas's and for all the other parishes in Nevis. While we are thankful for progress, we recognize that we have a lot more work to do. In fact, the moment we stop striving for improvement is the moment we start failing. Today, we reaffirm our commitment to the promises we've made to the wonderful people of Nevis 5. St. Thomas Parish, I want you to note upgrades to our infrastructure. It's coming. Honorable Spencer Brand has already given his assurance, and I'm going to put him on the spot. Jessups and bands, God be prepared. We are coming soon. Grants and promotional activities for small and medium businesses are coming. We are investing directly in the innovators who create jobs and drive our economy. Job and health fairs are also coming. We are connecting our people with opportunity and protecting their well-being, because a healthy citizen is a productive citizen. Art and essay competitions are coming. We are cultivating the next generation of thinkers, dreamers, and leaders. Upgrades to the Cotton Ground Playfield are coming. Our leader at our town hall meeting in St. Thomas's committed to getting this done. We are investing in recreation and community spaces because our children deserve the best. Learning materials, computers and printers for community centers are coming. We are closing the digital divide and equipping our adults and seniors with the tools for the modern age. You see, St. Thomas's, our constituency group, and this great party, we're not all talks. We act. We deliver, not only for the constituency of St. Thomas, but for the entire of Nevis. CCM, we must be proud of our accomplishments. I want to invite the people of St. Thomas Parish to join this vibrant movement driven by this great CCM party. St. Thomas is now blue. St. Thomas is now blue. Never before in history we expected to do what we did in St. Thomas, but we've done it. And next election, I'll be standing on stage. All five for we. With proven leadership at the forefront, we are steering towards a secure future. Our party has consistently shown the people of Nevis how strong, dedicated, and proactive we can be. We are, as I said before, not just talking the talk. We have a solid track record that speaks volume, a track record of delivering for the people of Nevis. Our leadership remains reliable and committed. We continue to make decisions that foster national development and enhance the quality of life for people, not only for today, but for future generations to come. CCM family, together we are a force to be reckoned with. Don't mind all you see on social media. It's afraid. Because they know CCM is the powerhouse. Do you agree? CCM is the powerhouse. We are where they want to be. But we know that they only want to get there for personal reasons. It has nothing to do with the betterment of Nevis. And so we have to work to keep them words of Edward Everett, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. And working together is success. This is why we are gathered here today, united in strength, love, and shared successes among the people of Nevis. There's no division in CCM. None whatsoever. I came into CCM, I won't say last. Well, among the candidates, I'm the youngest. I'll put yes, I'm the baby. And they all welcome me. The leader never looked at me or Honorable Janelle Nisbet and say, oh, they're too young. What are they going to bring to the table? He never did that. He opened his arms as well as our other colleagues and he said, come, we welcome you to CCM. That is leadership. I remember I gave a speech here some time ago. I think it was our first not my first convention, but first time I spoke at the convention. And I said, CCM is a welcoming party, and I meant it. It is time for us, as members of this great party, to stand and recognize our leadership. It is time for us to uplift the young, bring them into the party, and it is for us, the young, to support those who are already there. There must be a balance, and we understand that. And so, for those who are viewing, you are welcome to this great party. CCM is the best choice. I was just about to correct myself. CCM is the only choice for Nevis. I also remember when I walked on stage, it was Honorable Troy Libert who said, remember her name. But I don't want us to remember my name only. I want us to remember the history of this great party. I want us to remember our leadership. I want us to remember all our members, executive and supporters. We have to support each other. We have to stand together. I was going to say something, but I take it back. No. I'm not afraid. But you know, I don't want to shed light on certain individuals. I want us to focus on CCM. Because sometimes, you see, when we're busy talking about them, it's not that we lose focus. We give them too much time. And this party, we don't have time for that. We are a party of delivering. We are a party of action. We have so many important things to do, to deliver for the people of Nevis. We have to focus on projects. So we don't have time for all those petty politics, I call it. I don't engage in petty politics. And I know my colleagues and the CCM, we don't engage in petty politics. But we have to speak up. Including me, we have to speak up for our party. And when our party is doing good, let's say our party is doing good. Let's not shy away from who we are. Let's not sit in the back and say, this is how we are, CCM. We're quiet. No. There are times when we need to come out the woodwork and say, I am standing by my party. I am standing by my leader, Honorable Mark A.G. Bradley. I am standing by Honorable Spencer Brand, the only brand in town. I am standing by Honorable Alexis Jeffers. St. James, we coming back. We coming back. We are standing with Honorable Evelyn. And St. Thomas, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. Because even there were times I know during the election I was struggling, I was ill. And there's still times I've been ill. But you've never lost faith in me. You stood by me. And I can assure you that I will stand and deliver for you, the good people of St. Thomas Parish. St. Thomas says, you come into CCM. And whether I want to talk and say a lot of things, like I say, I won't touch on them for now. When the election comes, we will get to that. But all I know is whoever want that seat, they have to work for it. It's not like before, when you sit at home, everybody's sitting at home, and they're like, oh, election coming, and we're going to vote for them. It's not like that anymore. And I want us as CCM to realize that as well. Times have changed. Times have changed. Let us reach as many people as we can. Don't assume who they are politically affiliated with. You know why I'm going to say it? And I'm going to say it here. I grew up in an happy household. Everybody know my late great-grandmother, my mother. She raised me. She went all over in an happy shirt and I was there with her. But when we home, we have that battle. And I said to her, you support who you support, but I am supporting the party that I believe in. I believe in CCM. But many who are on the outside will look in and say, she's from an happy family. So I am not going to go and talk to her. No, we need to finish with that. We need to approach people unless they say to you, listen, I am a staunch supporter of this, respectfully. We're going for everybody. It is time for us to connect or continue to connect with our people. Reach as many people as we can. CCM, we are a great party. And I know things will only get better with CCM.
That was the Honorable Latoya Jones. And now we go to our featured speaker for that convention, Miss Neela Jones.
It's Neela here. Good afternoon, everyone. Please allow me to adopt the protocol that was established earlier in today's proceedings. And also, please allow me a moment for my dress. And the reason being, I've had this dress for a very long time, and I wondered when I would get the opportunity to wear it. And after receiving the call and being told the dress code, I thought that I should alter it to suit said dress code. But then I decided the more blue, the better. Yes? Glad that you all agree. Now down to business. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to deliver the featured address this evening under the theme, Proven Leadership, Secure Future. Given the current atmosphere of thought-provoking debates on leadership, projects, and our future, I thought that it was fitting. When we speak of leadership, we speak of more than titles. We speak of more than speeches. We speak of more than photographs at ribbon cutting. We speak of vision turned into action, promise turned into delivery, trust earned and renewed. When we speak of a secure future, we speak of stability, opportunity, generational continuity. Not just a future hoped for, but one that is prepared for. A sustainable and stable, thriving country doesn't happen by chance, nor does it happen overnight. It cannot happen with a one-man team, and it cannot happen with just one idea. It happens when visionaries, critical thinkers, altruistic persons, leaders, and even followers convene and intentionally curate realistic plans highlighting the strengths of our country while molding the weaknesses to be giants transforming them into economic rewards for our country, and being able to stand amongst the giants, the biggest countries of them all. And honestly, there are a few countries we can consider biggest given the size of Nevis. Here on Nevis, we have both the challenge and the privilege of crafting that vision and walking that path. It is a path with which many jurisdictions dream of, but with which we are determined to realize. Our Concerned Citizens Movement Party has a foundation built on leadership. Leadership is proven when our people see results, when they watch infrastructure rise, homes complete, energy systems stabilized, and the promise of tomorrow becomes the guarantee of today. In the same breath, as a leader, one must come to terms with the theory, trial and error, a theory that the everyday man has put aside. They cannot fathom the thought that failure is a part of the game, and thus they use it as ammunition, firing at every plan, leader, and project. But every step or every misstep is still a step. Here on Nevis, under the stewardship of the Concerned Citizens Movement, we have taken major steps forward. For example, the road network upgrades at Pennies and Brown Pasture, part of an island-wide program of infrastructural renewal. When citizens see better roads, safer bridges, safer and smoother connections between home and work, we prove to them leadership acts. Likewise, the rollout of new housing developments. The St. George's Parish. In St. George's Parish, the NIA has launched residential developments aiming at expanding home access to home ownership. This is an island where land is precious and housing is a core priority. This speaks of leadership that says, you matter, your futures matter, your family deserves a stake, or as some might say, a piece of the rock. And in the broader federal context, the passage of the Sustainable Investment Bill and the articulation of the Sustainable Island State Model for our Federation shows that leadership is not parochial. It is strategic and forward-looking. Ladies and gentlemen, we lead when we deliver. We lead when we invest. We lead when we plan for tomorrow's needs today. And I am not just saying words. There are concrete projects and tangible results. Allow me to highlight a few projects which exemplify the mix of vision and execution that we celebrate today. 1. Energy and sustainability. On Nevis, the opening of the international bids for the geothermal power project marks a major milestone in our energy sovereignty agenda. Imagine an island that supplies its own base load power from deep beneath the surface. That's not fantasy, that is strategy. The island of Nevis can proudly boast of the investment in water and electricity. Over $50 million in water supply in 12 years. 2, housing and inclusion. I'll highlight the new river development in St. George's Parish. And prior efforts like Bayview Gardens, where single mothers became first-time homeowners. I'll highlight the newly proposed development in Ghana's estate of approximately 150 lots soon to be available to our people, most importantly, young adults. These are not simply housing blocks. They are anchors of security, dignity, and opportunity. 3, infrastructure, connectivity, mobility. Whether we are talking about resurfacing roads or major upgrades to infrastructural assets, we are building the capacity of our island to move goods, services, people, ideas. 4, development with purpose. We observe the increasing number of local businesses. The Honorable Mark Brantley said in 2023, let us foster an environment where local businesses can flourish, where entrepreneurs dream and succeed, and where job opportunities are created for our people. This is 2025, proven leadership. In a short story, I ran into one of our leaders at Big Six Flavors. I'm not going to say which one of them. But every item that he ordered, they told him it was sold out. And any everyday person would say, or they would be disgruntled, as a matter of fact. But if we look at the bigger picture, that is successful entrepreneurship. Additionally, I'm sure you'll be able to go back and get something. And as a matter of fact, I'll give you a tip. Call ahead. That's what I do. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The genesis of the Destiny Special Sustainability Zone project on Nevis' southern coast is a bold next chapter. Although no deals have been signed as of today, and there are mixed emotions regarding the project, it is a multi-billion-dollar initiative that will invest tens of millions of dollars into infrastructure, scholarships for our students, jobs for our people, and a permanent profit share for Nivisions. This is leadership looking beyond the horizon and inviting everyone to step onto the boat. And yes, if I may borrow a bit of humor, we might need some life jackets of ambition and paddles of persistence. 5, health and wellness. Investing in the well-being of our people through the upgrading of new technology and computer systems in our hospitals. The investment in mammography equipment, 2 new ambulances versus the usual refurbished ones, CT scan machines, etc. The team of doctors we have invested in was able to take this country through COVID-19 pandemic, and the investment does not stop there. As we speak, we commend the doctors that have taken the opportunity and are currently abroad specializing in their respective fields. This is an investment that says leadership cares. These projects are impressive, and what makes them significant is the future they secure. When we invest in housing, we stabilize families, we raise hope, we anchor communities. When we invest in sustainable energy, we reduce vulnerability to imported fossil fuels, we protect our environment, we stabilize costs for businesses and households. When we improve roads and infrastructure, we reduce isolation, expand access, and we link people to opportunity. And when leadership is proven, when people see results, faith in governance grows, social cohesion strengthens, and the basis for further investment and innovation deepens. So in summary, leadership plus delivery equals trust. Trust plus opportunity equals stability. Stability plus growth equals a secure future. At this juncture, I want to address you, our political figures. Leadership is not the domain of one person or one office. It is collective, it is shared, it is accountable. And I know you already know that, but just as a reminder. We must ask ourselves, are we listening as much as we are acting? Are we ensuring the stakeholders in our island, every constituency, every community, feel the benefits of our programs? Are we bringing our youth, our women, and our historically underrepresented groups into space of governance and opportunity? Because to secure a future, we must democratize opportunity. And to answer that last question for them, the answer is yes. I want to applaud our female political leaders. Although you are not the first to lead us in this manner, we appreciate that you have stepped up to the plate, and not just as a pretty face to meet some gender equality movements, but you have transformed your divisions, improving the quality of lives for Nivisions through health, financial literacy, social advocacy, and the list goes on. To our political leaders, be sure you have a sense of humor, because governance without a bit of levity loses its humanity. For example, when the road projects are delayed and the constituents joke that the potholes have had a time to breed, we have to acknowledge the joke and deliver the fix. We lead not by being aloof, but by being present, relatable, and committed. As mentioned prior, mistakes will happen, and it would be remiss of me if I did not mention that this journey is not without its challenges, but is how we turn them into strengths. For small islands like Nevis, we face limited land resources, vulnerability to climate change and external shocks, the brain drain of our youth and seeking opportunities abroad, the pressures of doing big things with modest means. Yet, these challenges are not reasons for defeat. They are catalysts for innovation. Because when small islands must do more with less, we develop agility. When we must protect the environment and our heritage, we innovate sustainable solutions. When our youth look outward, we set the stage for them to return with experience, investments, and ideas. Thus, the right leadership is not just about having an exit strategy, but an entrance strategy. How we bring our diaspora home. How we invite foreign investments on favorable terms. How we guard our environment. How we make sure the next generation inherits a thriving island and not a hanging burden. So my call to leaders today is this. And please note when I say leaders, I do not only mean the political figures in the room. We all know the success of this team relies heavily on its supporters. You are also leaders. Do not minimize your contributions to our country. So I say again, my call to the leaders today is this. To every political leader in the room, let us be bold, but also grounded. Let us set audacious goals and make sure we track them, report them, and deliver them. To our civil service partners, let us be transparent, efficient, imaginative. Let our operations match the ambitions of our vision. To the people of Nevis, let us engage. Let us hold our leaders accountable. Let us participate, not as bystanders, but as co-creators of our future. And to the future of Nevis, let us promise you not just a home for today, but for your children's children. A home that is secure, prosperous, and full of opportunity. Let us remember that proven leadership is not measured merely by the projects we announce, but by the lives we change, the hope we kindle, and the futures we secure. In closing, let me leave you with this metaphor. Think of Nevis as a sailing vessel on the Caribbean Sea. The wind of opportunity fills our sails. The waves of challenge test our mettle. The stars of vision guide our course. Leadership, our rudder. Accountability, our compass. Delivery, our anchor. If we keep our sights fixed on what we have achieved, the roads, the housing, the energy, the education, the healthcare, and remain clear about what we are striving to become, a resilient, self-sustaining, inclusive island, then we will not drift. We will navigate, we will arrive. And perhaps with a little Caribbean humor, when we arrive, let's make sure the rum flows, the masqueraders dance, and the entire island feel the benefits. And most importantly, that the benefits endure. Thank you for giving me your time today. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment. And thank you for believing in the Nevis that leads, a party that delivers and secures a future for all its people. So cheers to the Concerned Citizens Movement Party. When we are concerned about the citizens and the country. When we are concerned, we move, we act, we don't just talk. So cheers to leadership that moves. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip. May we continue to prove our leadership and secure our future. Thank you.
Extremely powerful indeed. That was Miss Neela Jones, our featured speaker. And now we hear from our party leader and Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark H. Brantley.
CCM, good evening. So I want to thank the chair, Mr. Keynes, who has been doing an excellent job, and to thank all of you. You know, NEPAC is a big space. And when we said we'd have this convention at NEPAC, there were some who said, will people come out? And I said, yes, the people of CCM will come out because the people of CCM believe in this party. Good afternoon to all of you. It fills my heart with gratitude and pride to stand before you today. We are proud sons and daughters of this blessed island called Nevis. We are patriots who believe in Nevis, believers who have kept the faith through every trial and triumph. I want to greet and congratulate our party executives, our candidates and elected representatives, but most importantly, I salute you, our loyal supporters, our Caribbean brothers and sisters, and for some of you who are here, nuestra familia de la República Dominica. Mi español es muy malo, muy malo. Our brothers and sisters who are tuned in the diaspora, and every division who continues to hold the banner of Nevis and CCM high. Today we meet in this place at this time under the inspiring theme, Proven Leadership, Secure Future, to renew our covenant between the Nevisian people and this proud CCM party. When I look over the years, I'm reminded that this party, your party, the Concerned Citizens Movement, was not born out of luxury or privilege. It was born out of a deep concern for the people, out of a belief that Nevisians deserve a fair chance, that we deserve a voice, and that we deserve a government that works for them. And today I believe that we can all say with confidence that CCM has delivered proven leadership. You see, brothers and sisters, when Nevis faced the COVID-19 pandemic, it was CCM leadership that kept our island safe and that balanced health and the economy. Nevis had the best COVID-19 pandemic management in the entire Caribbean region. Thanks to our excellent team led by Dr. Judy Nisbet, to whom we owe a debt of gratitude. We ensured at this most difficult period in our history that every single government worker was paid his or her wages in full and on time. In fact, my entire cabinet took the decision to take a salary cut for 6 months during the pandemic. And I, as Premier, took no salary or benefits as Premier for 21 months. Because we said that as a government we needed to demonstrate to our people that we were with them in a difficult and dark period in the history of this island. This is what proven leadership looks like. When the enemies of democracy removed hundreds of Nevisians and our Guyanese brothers and sisters from the voters list in the dead of night, and then paid a big black fox down in Cox to corrupt our democracy and steal an election, it was your CCM that stood up, that went to court, that marched, and that ensured that democracy was restored to Nevis, and that our people had the right to vote restored to them. We should not forget that was proven leadership. You all sometimes forget things, but I'm here to remind you that when these opponents of progress tried to sell the Nevis Financial Services Registry to some Lebanese company called Utico, it was your CCM that stood up and said no to the sellout of Nevis. There were some former ministers of government, you know. They used the public resources not for you, but to secure house and land, land and house and land for them and their families. CCM stood up and said no to that. And you know something? Alexis Jeffers was up here a moment ago. I recall Alexis Jeffers saying that under him as Minister of Lands, no cabinet member will ever get any government land. There were some who wanted. He said no. He said no. And to this day, no member of the cabinet has ever benefited from either government land or government housing while they have been a member of that cabinet. Brothers and sisters, when billions with a B of citizenship by investment dollars flowed through the streets of Bastille like a mighty river, it was your CCM party and your CCM party alone which demanded a fair share of those resources for the people of Nevis. In fact, while we were arguing for Nevis and agitating for Nevis, there were others in Nevis who were saying that fair share was a fake argument. You know, sometimes I'm attacked. I said earlier in the caucus that of all the leadership CCM has had, indeed I believe of all the leadership that has existed in the Federation, I have suffered the most attacks. They come for me, they come for my wife. I see my wife the other day, I say, Lord, every time they attack you, you grow more beautiful. So if that is the result, you cost her some more. Because she look good. They attack my children. Politics used to have rules. There were things that we did not say and things that we did not do. Not because we don't know. We know a lot of things. We know all who had wrong child. We know all who no get frying pan in them head. We never spoke to those things because politics had rules. Now it seems like there's some who feel anything must go. And they get on the internet and they don't care what they say about people. I am saying, let us leave that noise and let us focus on what we have to do. Now, I want you to understand that despite the attacks that have come, and there have been many, I want to just say to you that this CCM party, don't take us lightly. Don't take us as if we are some small, insignificant movement. In 2015, there was a federal election, and this CCM party created change in the Federation. It is CCM that put team unity in government in St. Kitts. It is CCM that elevated a man with one seat to the Prime Minister's chair. And it was CCM that was promised certain returns for the people of Nevis. And when those returns did not come, when they kept saying to CCM, wait some more, wait some more, year after year, wait some more, I went to Evelyn, I went to Alexis Jeffers, and I want to single them out. You know why? They could have said to me, Mark, you're down there a long time, we just have come. Lord, let me get a little pension before you do anything. Because I hear a lot of them cussing CCM now, but they only start to cuss after they get their pension. The leadership that they cuss now, they stayed with that leadership. Until the leadership tell them, well, Lord, I can't go no further with you, they now start to cuss. But they made sure they secured themselves. Eric and Alexis said to me, wherever you go, we are going to follow. Because it's one CCM, not two. And when those commitments to Nevis were not honored, we did not say, let us think of us. Let us think of our salary. Let us think of our pension. We said, no. If you're going to treat Nevis like that, then not with CCM. And we said, the same speed we put you in, we take you out. And I am here to say that I have witnessed in this country some referring to themselves as a big dog, and right now they're nothing but a little chihuahua. CCM put you up, and CCM take you down. Be careful with CCM. We are a strong, powerful party. And anybody that underestimates the CCM does so at their peril. We are a movement of people, a movement of positivity. But do not feel that you're going to take advantage of the people of Nevis. Not under CCM. It cannot happen. When we look at the landscape of Nevis, you're talking about proven leadership. Look at our road network. You know, they say our road network is one of the best in the OECS. I was in Barbados recently, and I love Mia Motley, she's my friend. But when you hit some potholes in Barbados, if you're 2 months pregnant, you better call the emergency room, you're coming. Not in Nevis. But you know the problems that we have sometimes, we have short memories, you know. We have short memories. You know now, in Nevis, when there's a pothole, you know what the opposition do? They take a picture of the pothole and they post it on Facebook. You know why? Because there's only one. When the whole place was potholes, it didn't need no picture. But the road now so smooth. The other day I'm coming on the road and you know the police now say them have all kind of camera. Secret hidden camera. And I'm coming on the road and the road so smooth I have to be watching my speed dial to make sure that I'm not going over the limit. Best roads. Look at our electricity supply. And I'm going to pick on my sister St. Kitts, you know. Because I was down there recently and a fella I know said to me that he down there in the dark and he look over, he see Nevis up here shine. So he decided that the night hot, he said he catch the boat. And he went Nevis for the night, where he could get some AC. Nobody talk about water. If you are like me, I come from Henley Part, as Eric said. I used to have a little gallon pan. And we used to walk from Scarborough up to Market Shop, fill up by the dump, walk back down to Scarborough, get that cold shower when the water hit you. Lord of mercy. Walk back up to go to chapel school. When last anybody in here got to catch water? When last you got to bathe out a bucket? We have reliable water and electricity. And as you have heard, we've invested almost $50 million in the last 12 years in water in Nevis. You know, they used to say of me, and I hear some Nevisians saying the same thing. Say, he don't spend good. He's a bad spender. Well, suppose they used to spend bad in St. Kitts. You realize if they were spending bad over there like I was spending bad up here, you wouldn't be hearing nobody over there having no problems? Because when they were accusing me, I was investing and CCM was investing in Nevis. We're investing in roads, we're investing in water, we're investing in electricity. That's what we were doing to try to ensure that the people of Nevis were made better off. When you turn on your pipe now, you're not getting air, you're getting water. Spencer Brand, thank you. I want us to take a little look at healthcare. Do you know that we now have a modern state-of-the-art X-ray, ultrasound, CT scan, mammogram equipment? We just upgraded our lab facility as well to enhance our diagnostic capabilities. We have invested in brand new ambulances. And do you know that we have a brand new state-of-the-art 911 dispatch system in Nevis now? The other day, going through Brownhill, I see a car on fire. And I pick up my phone quick and I dial 911. Before the phone could ring, I hear a pleasant lady say, hello, 911. I wouldn't tell you what I said. But I said to myself, wow. And then I said, there's a fire. She said, we have the report already. The ambulance and fire truck have already been dispatched. I said, my God, this is like Beverly Hills. Nevis, little Nevis. We have also made some significant investment in doctors. I wonder if CCM will believe me today when I tell you that the NIA has 42 doctors and staff. 42. You all remember when Nevis only had one? 42 doctors. There are an additional 10 doctors who have offices or privileges to practice on Nevis. In addition, there are 27 specialists who visit at various times throughout the year to deliver health care to Nevisians and residents, and many of whom do so for free. That's a total of 79 doctors available to the people of Nevis from time to time. Among those doctors, we have various specialties. We have 3 dentists. For the very first time in Nevis history, we have 3 resident surgeons at the hospital. We have 2 pediatricians, 2 internists, 2 anesthesiologists, 2 obstetrics and gynecologists, 2 orthopedic surgeons, 1 radiologist, 2 cardiologists, 2 psychiatrists, 13 ophthalmologists, 1 neurosurgeon that deal with people's brain. And sometimes when I hear the commentary in Nevis, I want him to come and live here, because some people's brain need fixing. We have 2 urologists. We have 2 ENT throat specialists, 1 pulmonologist. And for those of you who do not like your appearance, we have 3 plastic surgeons. You all think I look in good naturally? Plastic surgery, they fill out some places, they're small in some places. I am here to tell you all that Nevis has made significant strides in healthcare. We have abroad, I want you all to listen carefully now. We have abroad currently doctors specializing, local doctors specializing in radiology, OBGYN, ophthalmology, and anesthesia. And we hope to have them back with us soon. I believe that the Honorable General Nisbet and the team at Health deserve a round of applause. And just so that you all understand what we're doing in EVERU in health, a quick check shows that the World Health Organization global standard for doctors per capita is 1 doctor to 1,000 people. The global average is 1.8 doctors to 1,000 people. The great United States of America averages 2.6 doctors to 1,000 people. In Nevis, we have 5.88 doctors to every 1,000 people. Double the average in the US, 3 times the global average, and 6 times the WHO average. That is proven leadership. On the nursing front, we have 90. 90. Again, World Health Organization standards recommends 3 nurses per 1,000 people. On this measure, Nevis has an average of 6.7 nurses per 1,000 people, or more than double the global standard. And we haven't just stopped there. We recognize that nursing is a special calling. And this government has said to any person who wants to do nursing, please come. The government will pay for you to become a nurse. That is the investment that we are making in healthcare in Nevis. Some accuse us of all manner of things. They say we are a secret government. We are not transparent, they say. But I want to say today that this CCM government has ushered in a new era of open government, never before seen in this country. Some may forget, but it was CCM that introduced integrity in public life legislation. We introduced a premier's monthly press conference, and every week that God sends, so long as I'm on island and I'm able, I'm on the radio with you, having a conversation. I only encourage more of you to call. Please, call in and talk to me. I am there for you. I'm there to listen and engage with you. Because, Lord, some of them who call in, I was so vexed that we're on TV now, you know. In the old days, you didn't have any video. So when they call, you could, but now I'm there and I'm saying, yes, caller. Yes, and listen, I'm vexed, you know. But because they're live streaming. I want CCM people to pick up the phone and call so that I'm not as frustrated. Even now, ladies and gentlemen, on this significant investment proposal that we've heard for the south coast of Nevis, Destiny they're calling themselves, my government has not signed anything, but instead we have decided to consult with the people of Nevis. We have thus far consulted with the business community. We have consulted with the church leaders. We have consulted with the opposition. We called the 2 members opposite into the cabinet room. We said to them, come and see. It's the only time you're going to see it, so come and talk to us. We have consulted with the police high command. We have consulted with tourism stakeholders. We tomorrow, Monday, God willing, at 7 o'clock at the Anglican Church Hall in Charlestown, we will consult with the general public and we invite all of you. Tutmun Samambagay, come out. Now I want you to cast your minds to the east, west, north, and south. And tell me, when in the history of Nevis has you ever had this level of consultation on any project? Not only that, but this particular project, if it is to go forward, must go to the parliament. When I hear them talk about secrecy, I say, what is the secrecy? What is there to be secret about? But I will tell you that the concern is not about the project. The concern is about the project happening under CCM. That is the concern. So all of a sudden, everybody become Christopher Columbus. Now, if you truly knew anything about those lands, you would know that things that some are now saying they're discovering have always existed. But them I walk over there now. In fact, I heard one fellow say the only thing left for them to discover in the southern Nevis now is gold, frankincense, and myrrh. that is what is going on here now. And you know the thing and that is why sometimes I tell you, I want to set the van to turn off the cameras. Because sometimes when they call in, and I am itching, because I am asking myself, how could anybody be so hypocritical to sell them land to the same people and then turn around and curse the people and say other people must not sell them land? So your pocket fat, but nobody else's pocket must be fat? How in good God's name you could hold yourself up? And you know the thing that I find is so astonishing? The woman so bold-faced with the misrepresentation and the outright lying to the people of Nevis. If I hear that I benefited, I will resign. Well, when the documents them drop, because you know they will drop. Timing is everything. When they drop, what's she going to do? What's she going to say? But you know something? I am here tonight to say I don't want a soul to resign. Because come the next election, I want CCM to deliver a message in St. James. That is a resounding message that we don't want you to resign. We're going to vote and vote in a way that ensures that St. James comes back to the CCM. You know why? Alexis is right. He and I are like this. But if he recalls, whenever I campaign in St. James, I say, I am in CCM country. St. James has not changed. St. James remains blue. And I don't care what nobody say. St. James is coming back to CCM. In terms of education, proven leadership, do you know that over the past 6 years, this CCM government has financially assisted 153 young divisions to achieve their goal of university education? In infrastructure, we have the Mondo track, the Orly water taxi facility, the Newcastle police station, CCTV coverage, a CCTV command center in town, the roads that we have spoken to, the MGR Park, the Bath Hot Spring, the Pinnis Beach development. I spoke to a friend of mine. He and I were there at a place called Chills Bar. You all know it? He was drinking rum, I was drinking milk. And whilst we were speaking to each other, he said to me, you know what I love about this? When I come to Pinnis now, I have choice. I have about 7, 8, 9 places where I can decide to hang out, to eat. Nevis nice, and we're making Nevis nicer under CCM. Don't bother talk about social safety nets. Our seniors program is the best in the Caribbean. I don't hold the water in my mouth to say so. Where else in the world you got seniors say them got beauty pageant? You got seniors playing pan. And just a few days ago, the seniors were up at ETW Park having their sports day. And I'm telling you all, I make bold to say tonight that based on my age, I am going to put as much money as I can into the seniors program because I'm headed there shortly. The seniors are well taken care of here in Nevis. Think about our RISE program, our daycare assistance program. You know, in Nevis now, if you're a single parent, you can get assistance with daycare. This CCM team was up in Hamilton. We sat down in Hamilton, a young woman called Africa Wilkes. She came there and she spoke to us and she explained to us the difficulties that parents, single parents were having with daycare and the cost of daycare. Well, you know, I out of daycare a long time, so I didn't understand. But when she explained, we said we had to do something. And the result of that is that those young parents, single family parents, can now get assistance with daycare in Nevis because of the CCM government. You know, when others identify problems, CCM has acted to find solutions. That is the hallmark of proven leadership. And I'm proud to lead this team that has delivered. Now, the future that we seek for Nevis, let us be clear. It cannot be built on uncertainty. It cannot be built on inexperience, on bad mind, or political gamesmanship. It must be anchored in leadership that has been tried, tested, and trusted. There are too many Johnny-come-lateys who want office not to help you but to help themselves. And that is a problem. Proven leadership must be about earning the confidence of people through consistent, competent, and compassionate service. And my brothers and sisters, when leadership is proven, the future is secure. A secure future means stability for our families, opportunity for our youth, and dignity for our elderly. It means economic expansion and jobs today and hope eternal. It means that our island, small as it may be, continues to stand tall in this Caribbean Sea. You know how good I feel when I go to the supermarket or I go around town and I hear people speaking. Sometimes I can't really understand what they're saying. Because in Nevis now, some habla español, some parle creole, some parle français, some, I can't do the Arabic thing, but some talk that. We have Indians who are speaking Urdu and Hindi. We have people coming to Nevis from all parts of the world. The Chinese say ni hao. All of them are coming. They're coming here. You think people go to bad life? Anybody leaving their country coming to hard life? People leave their country because they go into a land of opportunity. And that land of opportunity is Nevis. I talked to someone the other day. The young lady told me she's from Dominica, the Commonwealth of Dominica. And she said, Mr. Brantley, the only problem that I'm seeing now, Nevis need more housing. Because a number of us from Dominica who want to move here, we need more housing. Nevis is full of opportunity. And while some of our people sit back and spend all their time complaining, others are coming in and doing 2 and 3 jobs. They are the ones buying the house, buying the land, buying the car, starting the business. And I'm saying to our people that the CCM has created opportunity first and foremost for the Nevisian people. But this is a land of opportunity, and so many are coming in because they're seeing and seizing that opportunity. I encourage you to do the same. To do the same. Because that is what we have created. That is what a secure future looks like. But we recognize that leadership alone is not enough. This movement is only as strong as its people. And I say to you today, the CCM is strong because you are strong. The farmers, the fishermen who rise early every day to feed this island, the teachers who shape our young minds, the nurses, civil servants, entrepreneurs, or taxi drivers, hospitality workers, you are the ones who keep the wheels of Nevis turning. It is you, the men and women and children of this extraordinary island, who make CCM more than a political party. You make it family. You make it a movement of people committed in purpose to our beloved Nevis. Now, you have heard it said here by the Honorable Eric Rohan Evelyn. Spencer Rudolph Brand is laughing. And Alexis Allison. Zook Jeffers is somewhere around. Youth and Troy Libert is here. And I don't even know why they call Janelle because her name is Merville. Oh yes. But everybody know that. Latoya Bianca Jones. Some of them that hide their name in a cars for years. You hear Zook say, man, he like that, me never name Allison. But as Eric said, CCM has won every election except one since 1992. 33 years 17 times you have gone to the polls as a people of Nevis, and 16 times you have said CCM is our choice. In fact, I will tell you something. You know how you cannot trust the enemies of progress? In 2022, the people of Nevis gave the opposition 2 seats. In less than 1 week, as one of my colleagues put it, the duet had become a solo. Mass confusion in the camp. And I have said it and I say it again. You know why Nevis escaped? Because they were not in government. Could you imagine if that level of confusion had gone into the government? You see what I'm trying to say? When you have little people trying to do big people work, that is the problem. So it was all about self-aggrandizement, and in fact to this very day, the parliament is not properly constituted because there's no leader of the opposition. And the member opposite, there should be a senator opposite, no senator opposite because of this confusion. I am saying to you all, you know, if a fish jumps out of the water and tell you shark in there, don't tell the fish a lie. When I see people jump out of that confusion and say it's confusion in there, believe them. And let Nevis stay out of confusion. Stick with CCM, because I'm here to say no confusion in CCM. Let me tell you all something, you know. Once this big blue machine stays together, once we continue to work together, once we continue to pray together, once we continue to endure together, no amount of noise can move us. Jehovah God himself has ordained that we are here for this moment. Because the Bible says so, you know, the Bible says God raises up leaders. And we are not here by accident. Imagine the COVID-19 pandemic if you did not have skilled leadership at the wheel. What would have happened to us? Imagine if you had leadership which was emotional, that respond to everything, that cuss everybody. Mine, sometimes I want to cuss, but I don't. Imagine if that was the leadership that you had. Ladies and gentlemen, God himself has put us here for times such as this. So as we look now to the future, as we look to the horizon, we see that our world is changing rapidly. Artificial intelligence, climate change, global uncertainty, security tensions, even in our Caribbean. I recently listened to my sister Mia Motley speaking on the build-up of U.S. troops in the Southern Caribbean. We ought all to be concerned. All of these will shape the future that we must prepare for. We just learned of this hurricane, Melissa I think it's called, bearing down on Jamaica. Our hearts and prayers are with the Jamaican people. But we had our students who were also there. And I want to thank Prime Minister Drew and his team, because through their efforts yesterday, they were able to fly our students out to safety. And last night, I was on the phone speaking back and forth to some parents who were very worried. But I'm comforted to know that the children left last night, went to Turks and Caicos, and if the schedule is correct, I'm hopeful that they're now in St. Kitts and Nevis, safe at home with their families. But I say to us as a party and as a people, in the words of Abraham Lincoln, that famous U.S. president, he said this: the dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. We must think anew and act anew. I say to you today that the CCM will not fear the future. We are Nevisians, and Nevisians are imbued with a spirit not of fear, but with a spirit of power, of love, and of sound mind. We can therefore face the future with all its challenges with confidence. Why? Because we have proven leadership, and we know that proven leadership guarantees a secure future. We are investing in geothermal so that our island can become energy dependent, reduce costs, and protect our environment. We are working to diversify our economy, attract new large investments, empower small businesses, and support our creative and cultural sectors. You know, for a long time, those who were enemies of progress argued that CCM had not brought any big investor to Nevis. You all hear them? For a long time, the mantra was, not na keep. You all heard them? Well, how come now something want keep, and you want to keep the something from keeping? You see, that is why we must do what we must do. The people elected CCM to lead, not to follow. We must act sometimes because vision and visionary leadership must sometimes look around the corner. We must sometimes see what others may not see, because that is what we need in order to propel our country forward. So you have had a narrative saying nothing is happening and that this government cannot attract any investment, to a narrative which now says this investment is too big and we must be afraid. But why should we be afraid? Why should we be afraid? Don't we want jobs? One fellow who's commenting all the time has lived in America since he was about 17. And I spoke to him privately, because I've said to him I will not engage with him publicly. And I said to him, boy, you left here, you're a man now nearly 60. You left here since you're 17. You don't even own a full cub in Nevis. You have never looked back. You have not employed anybody here. I said, you are saying that you're against development here in Nevis. Let me ask you therefore, as a bright, educated fellow, next year, 400 or so students will come out of 5th Farm and 6th Farm. What am I supposed to do with them? Where are they supposed to work? Will they become like you at 17, having to move abroad to make a life for themselves? You know what he tell me? I am not elected. People elect you to solve those problems. I say, well, I agree with you. Move up me way, let me solve the problem. Don't tangle up my foot. Move out my way, because you are 100% right. That's why people elect me. That's why people elect the CCM. They elect us to lead, to solve problems, to create opportunities. That's what proven leadership does, and that's how we secure our future. You have heard about our improvements in healthcare. We will continue to improve our healthcare. We're investing in education, training our youth not just for jobs but for leadership, because the next generation must take control. We are building out the Van Samer International Airport, and I want to say a word about Alexis Jeffers. Of all the people in Nevis I could have chosen to lead that project, I say let Allison lead it. You know why? Because any project that you give Zook to do, Zook will deliver. So that project is going to kick off shortly. Shortly. The South Coast development you've heard about, we will see where that goes, guided by the consultation that we are having. And we will continue to fight for fairness and equity with our brothers and sisters in St. Kitts. We have tried valiantly to develop a relationship between Charlestown and Bastia. I hear people in St. Kitts who either ain't got no seat or got one seat saying they should be leader of the opposition. I said to myself, so Nevis people could only support St. Kitts people to be leader? So me must take up a 3 seat and give me to go down and sing it and say, hey, same here. Not me. Me sit down with Alexis and Zook. Mr. Alexis and Zook, Lord of mercy. I sit down with Eric and Zook, and Eric and Zook say, listen, one CCM, one song. Let me go sing it, we're going to stand up together. So what we have been doing is simply saying to Bastia, let us see where the areas that we can cooperate. Let us see where the areas that we can push the country forward. Instead of this constant fighting with each other, let us see. And PM Drew has been a good partner thus far. Because one thing I'll say about Drew, mine, he don't always answer me. But if I ask him a question and he tells me yes, his yes has been his yes. And his no has been his no. And you see, in life, ultimately that's all we have, is our integrity. And so, in my engagements with him, I don't know what his politics. He's a Labour man. I'm not Labour. I'm CCM. He red, I'm blue. But what I've said to him is that when it comes to St. Kitts and Nevis, there are times we must put petty differences aside and work together for the benefit of the country. If we're talking about crime and national security, we must work together. This geothermal project, I've said so a number of times. I was in a government of national unity, it was called. And you know, it's only since I out of the government, I find out that when I am standing up talking about geothermal energy, somebody in the back will say, you know, no geothermal in Nevis, you know. My father come from cotton ground, but me no want no geothermal, you know. That gonna make Nevis people too powerful. And then got the audacity to say that the CBI money is St. Kitts money, and every dollar they give Nevis is a dollar less for St. Kitts. And you got people in Nevis who hug up that. Not me. Not me. Me, Zook, and Eric say, "La we go Nevis. Le Abi go Nevis. And Nevis, nigga Abi be. Le Abi go up there because we understand Nevis. We understand the issues that impact Nevis. And nobody's going to take advantage of Nevis whilst we are here."
That's our party leader and the Premier of Nevis, Honorable Mark Brantley. And of course, we've given you a treat tonight with the excerpts from our convention, our CCM convention held on Sunday the 26th of October there at NEPAC. So here's where we end things tonight on the On The Mark program for this evening. Remember to join us again tomorrow at 1 p.m. for a repeat of this edition. So until next week, I'm your host Eric Evelyn saying thank you so much for joining us. Do have a wonderful rest of the evening. God bless you.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.